Hello, friends. Welcome to Nirfast Talk Show. Today, I have a very special guest, Mr. Tauseef Hasan. He works as a project manager in British Telecom, which is one of the renowned multinational company based out of UK. He delivers projects primarily finance, telecom, and many other industry domains. Primarily, he is passionate about the mindset and communications. He had been closely working with this transformation journey and creating leader for next generations. He has a missions to coach almost 1 million people down the line and create a very wide ranging positive impact in the society. I'm very glad such a brilliant person is with me today. Welcome, Tauseef.
Thank you so much, Nipra. And I really liked, because I think we both are leaving the impact in the society. You are also interviewing me. So I think it's a win-win situation for both of us. And I would really appreciate that you have invited me on your talk show. And I would love to share my experience and the wisdom nuggets that I have probably learned from all of the people, from my mentors, from, during this personal transformation journey. So thank you so much for inviting me, Nipra. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you for your very valuable notes. Tauseef, as you know, right, World Economic Forum has published a report where it says communications and collaboration is the two primary key skills that our younger generation require down the line of few years. And then, of course, for any transformations, either it is communications or in personal development, I think mindset is the fundamental requirement. Without having a progressive and learning mindset, nothing can be achieved. And you as a communication and mindset coach, I would love to hear much more about this area, why this mindset is so important and how can we build such kind of learning mindset.
I think it's a very good question, Nipra, first of all, because a lot of people don't even know what they don't know.
Exactly.
So I think mindset is having an attitude towards what's your approach towards one thing. Like, let's take an example that there is a problem in the society. So how do I look at it? B, how the other person look at it? And you will find there is a huge difference in the approach of how different people look at single problem. Person A might look at a problem like a problem, and he might try to avoid it because it's a problem. And generally, we are hardwired to, repel from the problem. We retreat from the issues. Right? That's a human tendency. We don't like problems. We always love comfortable situations. Exactly. But there is a person B who think that it's a problem. It's actually not a problem. It is an opportunity for me to grow in the future. What if I solve this problem and I become a name, or maybe I can simplify the life of somebody. It's not always about the money. It's also about the legacy you will lead. It's all about showing the courage. It's all about showing your leadership skills. It's all about leading in life, maybe personal or professional life. So I think the fundamental difference between these kind of people is, so if you do not have the right mindset, forget about learning anything. Let's say that you want to improve your communication. I always suggest that if you want to improve your communication, first of all, improve your mindset.
Exactly.
Let's say that you don't value a good communication.
Exactly.
And the classic example of this, but you don't know how to communicate well, but you saw somebody speaking flawlessly and you really want to copy him.
Exactly.
But you don't value it. So what you did, you bought a course, and next day when you started that course and you felt like you got bored, man, who would do these 2 hours, 3 hours of course? I was not meant for this. I thought that some magic will happen. Somebody will come with a magic band and wave at me, and I will suddenly, all of a sudden, I will start speaking magically. So what happens? This is not a problem with the skill. This is a problem with mindset.
Exactly.
So if you really want to learn anything, any skill, if you want to acquire communication skills, you want to know how to drive a car, you want to know how to swim, you want to know how to ride a bike, any skill, you first of all prepare yourself that whatever it takes, I'm ready to learn that. So what you can do, just think about the time that it might take. First of all, define your objective. Like, what is it that I want to achieve as a result of becoming successful communicator? Okay, what is it that I want to achieve? And what is the reason that I want to achieve what I want to achieve? Because ultimately every day is different and you will feel demotivated on some day or other. So what will happen when you feel demotivated? You probably would love to go back to those reasons and they will give you the proper, I would say, significant ammunition or a fuel to you to again come back stronger. And that's what happens with me. So for example, we all are human beings. We tend to face some of the days which does not go for us, which are against us. So in those days, usually what I do basically I look at those reasons why I'm working towards what I'm working, and then I get charged up again. So I think mindset plays a very, very vital role. I would like to share one of my personal example very quickly here to give you the context. So when I was working in my previous company, it is during 2011-12. Okay, I had faced a lot of setbacks in terms of bullying from others, in terms of, people mocked my English, the way I would pronounce. People would laugh at the way I would write emails, the words that I would use in the emails. I had no email etiquette, no English speaking power. I wasn't the way I'm speaking today. And as a consequence of that feeling, I would feel as if that, God, I could say from the meeting. Because if somebody will ask any question to me in the meeting, I might not be able to answer. It was not a communication issue, largely. To a certain extent, it was a mindset issue as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
And before I will go to the meeting, my legs will shiver, my palms will sweat. And I will feel into myself that if I'll go to the meeting, I would make sure that I will sit at the seat which is at backmost. I would not sit on the front seat. I would not sit in the middle, because somebody will ask question to me and I will not be able to answer because I'm not confident. I cannot speak confidently, and that will make me feel miserable.
Exactly. Yeah.
And in spite of such situations, I did not even work on my communication. I was so complacent, and that was a mindset problem. But I would love to share my personal transformation journey, probably as we move on. So I absolutely agree. Without having a warrior or, absolutely good attitude or mindset, you should not move on towards learning any skill.
Yeah. Yeah. Extremely valid point, right? But just want to add a few more additional points here. Probably looking at the bigger picture, right? How can we build the younger generations where they are more interested to learn something, right? And that is possible, I believe, the way you are sharing your personal transformation to others, and then that has to be initiated across all sectors from the society, all people from the society, and that should be a movement, the way such a Bharat movement has initiated. If people start, I think, imitating those good activities, because we all influenced by surroundings, we all influenced by culture, and if we are able to build that kind of culture through contributing whatever little we know, and try to try to create an impact to the younger generation, probably things will fall in place. What do you think about that?
I absolutely agree, and that is the reason somebody should have that kind of a mindset.
True.
That, whatever I know, I'm ready to contribute towards the society. So for example, if you talk about myself, I love to share my experience on social media.
Right.
A lot of people in my friends circle come back to me and say, Tauseef, you're so active on social media. How do you get so much of time?
Exactly.
Like you're doing a 9 to 5 job, you're doing podcasts, you're making YouTube videos, you're making videos on Instagram, you're posting on LinkedIn, you're coaching people. How do you manage to get so much of time? Here's my answer. So when you are passionate about doing something, time is not a constraint because you automatically get time for it and you don't feel it as if you're working. You feel as if you're playing a game. So I'm
Exactly.
just playing a game. Yes, I might feel like as if I'm working whatever I'm doing in my 9 to 5 job, but apart from my 9 to 5 job, and I always make sure that I give my full attention towards that 9 to 5 job.
True.
I'm very, very, I would say, authentic in terms of, and have that integrity that I would not use that particular time for my own activities.
True.
But out of 9 to 5, I feel I'm very, very passionate about it. So I manage everything. So what is the reason behind it? The reason is I want to impact the society. I want to become an example to the world. I don't want to become a warning to the world because in my family, my grandfather never went to school. My father is 10th standard fail. He failed in 10th standard. My uncle he failed in 9th standard, never went back to school. It was only my mom who was educated.
Yeah.
Okay. And so there has been a lot of warnings in my family. I decided that I will not become a warning. I will become an example. And
True.
the only way you can become an example is whatever you know, do not hide, do not bury it somewhere.
Yeah.
Put it across to the world. Share your experience. There are a lot of people who need you.
Exactly.
No matter, it doesn't really matter who will read your article, who will read your post, who will watch your videos, and you don't know how much impact it is making. It is it is multifold. So all the students, to all the people who might be thinking that they have a lot of experience, but they are holding themselves back just because they are not, comfortable sharing it. It's absolutely fine. You take your time, come in front of the camera, or if you're not comfortable with videos, absolutely fine. Write it, write articles, write posts in however way you want to impact the world. Do it.
Exactly. No, I
Right?
completely agree. At the end of the day, the what I also agree, uh, want to share with you, right? Probably each of us from the society need to think for the others. If that mindset comes, probably then things will be much faster. For example, I was in native place because of the COVID since last 1 year. So during this 1 year, we have done three initiatives for social transformations. Probably 65 uh, class 10th and class 12 pass students we brought into one place. We
Right.
recognize their hard work. We encourage them. We guided them for the further learnings and so on. And why that? Of course, it has been initiated by some of our colleagues and myself. But why that program were able to arrange? Because there is a mindset who wanted to create an impact within their village, right?
True.
So we should always think for others apart from our personal development, and that
Yes.
whoever working on that directions, probably they should try to spread that message to the larger community. And I believe that kind of engagement will create one or the other impact in the society and build.
And I think it's all about how selflessly you serve.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you do that, you will make a lot of money as well. It's not
True.
like that you will always do it in the way you want to do it, but once you start contributing towards the society will respond to you.
Exactly.
So it is just that don't be impatient. Try doing it. I've been making money. I mean, I don't reveal it, but I've been making money. I coach people, uh, and I don't do it in my office time. I have a lot of time. Like, you have 24 hours in a day. You do 9 or 10 hours, you do a job. You're left with 6, 7 hours. How do you want to use those 6 and 7 hours will determine where you would go in 5 years or 10 years. So I think it's all about making sure that you start contributing to the society with whatever knowledge you have, whatever experience that you want to share, and then you will see the magic. But make sure you
Exactly.
be consistent.
Yeah. I completely agree with you, Mr. Tasif. Let's move to the next part, probably
Hmm.
the communication things, right? Which you have been always encouraging people to become a more effective communicator, and then create a positive growth for their professional life. But do you want to just elaborate that points, right? How does
Sure.
communication create an impact for any young professionals, and what should be the way forward?
I think if people start to learn how to communicate effectively, it can solve the problem of countries, it can solve the problem of the world.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what? Communication is not limited to just speaking well in offices.
Exactly.
Communication is not just limited to speaking good with your bosses.
Exactly.
Communication is holistically how you behave when you're not speaking, and when you're speaking, how do you speak with all of the people around you. Maybe how do you communicate with your kid, how do you communicate with your spouse, how do you communicate with your friends, and how do you communicate with your colleagues in personal and professional life. Communication is, so first of all, a lot of people understand communication differently. So let's understand what communication is. Communication is not I'm speaking to somebody and I'm communicating. Think about how animals communicate. They communicate through a vibration. And we are no more different than animals, because when we don't speak, we are still communicating. Let's say you go to any mall, shopping mall, stand straight in the middle of the shopping mall and just observe. You'll find someone suited, booted, with polished shoes. He's moving
Yeah.
hand in hand with his spouse,
Exactly.
shopping, and you'll feel that I wish I could be like them. He's not saying, he's not communicating, but his body is communicating. When you turn to your next, you found somebody wearing very casually, maybe in shorts, an ugly t-shirt. It doesn't matter how rich he or she is. You will perceive somebody, maybe him or her, as if, yeah, okay. So how, when you perceive things, when you observe things around you, you feel that communication most of the time is non-verbal.
Yeah.
But what we do, we chase to speak well.
Yeah.
We don't even think about what to do when we don't speak.
Exactly.
How to
Yeah.
present yourself, how to present yourself in any meeting, when you're casual, or when you're going somewhere in a party, or maybe you're going to give a presentation. How you present yourself non-verbally plays a very major part in your communication. And a study shows that,
That is a difficult
you
part.
know, absolutely, it is difficult because we are very unconscious about it. We don't
Exactly.
even work onto this consciously. We always chase that, how can I speak, communicate effectively so that people are impressed, right? That is the motto with
Exactly.
most of the people. I'm not saying everyone.
Yeah.
So I think a research shows that people perceive you, they judge you in 250 millisecond, not even a second. So if I watch you for the first time, I will I will assume that you're like this within 250 millisecond, not even a second. So imagine how important it becomes to carry yourself nicely. The way you move, the way you come onto the stage, or maybe the way you appear, your first appearance on a Zoom video call, or the way you meet with your girlfriend or boyfriend, and whole lot of people are watching you. It differentiates you from other people.
Yeah.
So that is one. Second is, of course, communication, verbal. Your verbal communication, I see that people who wants to speak really, really well, they should understand that even before they work on their spoken English, they should work on their listening skills. Listening is one of the undervalued skill in our society.
Yeah.
We love to talk because we want to be heard. We want to have the feeling of, to be heard in the society. Everybody wants to be heard, but nobody loves to hear. Nobody loves to listen. So there is a reason why God has given 2 ears and one mouth.
Yeah.
Because God wants us to listen. God wants us to learn more and more, observe more and more, and speak with very few words, but at the same time, very impactful words.
Yeah.
Somebody who speak more doesn't determine that he's a very great speaker.
Exactly.
Vice versa, if somebody speaks less but speaks very wisely, is a person who everybody would want to listen.
Yeah.
Imagine that person will save a lot of energy. So,
Yeah.
so communication in a nutshell is how you present yourself, how you behave in different situations, and how you speak, and most if significantly, how you listen, how you attentively observe people, and how you then present yourself.
Yeah.
So communication plays a significant role in your life. It has changed a lot of tangent within my life. I've been able to personally transform myself, and the amount of, I would say, intellectual and financial success that I have got in last 2 years, I could not get that in last 10 years.
Great to know. Yeah. But one thing I
And
would
I'm
love to
sharing
hear.
it very transparently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Thank you so much. I love to understand from you, right? The communication is, as you rightly say, probably non-verbal part will play very significant role. But more importantly, more than that, external communications, I think the knowledge part, because the communication is just the external world
My
of
God,
what
you
you
touched a
have,
very good topic. Yeah,
what you have
absolutely.
inside your mind, isn't it? So
Absolutely.
how can you build that kind of
That's
knowledge?
why I
Which,
always share these three things with my you know mentees or
yeah,
people who learn from me, is that before you work on your verbal communication, so
yeah,
your verbal communication, the words that you're speaking, it is an output. I treat it
exactly.
as an output, right? Because we are breathing out the air, we are speaking, people are listening to us, it is an output.
True.
Let's understand what are the inputs,
Exactly.
because there is no output without a good input, and the quality of your output will depend upon the quality of your input. So what are those inputs? Number one thing is listening skill that I just spoke about.
Yeah.
There are 4 levels of listening that I talk about. How can you improve your listening? I talk about. So number one, listening. Second is thinking. You know what? You'll be surprised to know that thinking is one of the undervalued and is the hardest thing to do, because people don't have time to take a pause and think about what has happened in the past, what is happening right now, and what is going to happen in the future. People are so busy in this world that they just constantly bombard themselves with work, 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 and it becomes a pressure cooker. And it is evident that someday it will blast somewhere. Maybe the impact of this will look in your relationship. Impact of this might reflect in your health. The impact of this might reflect in the way you present yourself, because you are not taking a pause in your life. So thinking is very important. How there are different kind of thinker, like creative thinkers, critical thinkers. What kind of a thinker you are? What is your thinking profile? Right? I talk about this. So it's very important to become a good thinker. Always take a pause, understand what you know, take a stock of all the skills that you have, that you already know, and then take a stock of the skills that you want to learn. The quality of your thoughts will determine the quality of your language, because we are just speaking thoughts. We speak whatever we have in our mind and heart. So if we don't work on the quality for the thoughts, then how can we speak effectively?
Yeah. So what do you think? Quality of thoughts can be improved through reading, probably one area, and then of
That's
course
what I'm going to
engaging,
talk about. That's
engaging.
third.
Yeah.
The point is third point, that is reading and writing.
True.
So reading and writing is typical word, but somebody can watch a podcast, somebody can talk to somebody and gain some understanding. So reading and writing, I think with reading, you develop new perspectives. So for example, if I believe that this is a transparent bottle and I can fill a water into this, but somebody believes something else into this. Somebody say that I want to put a wine into this because it would look nice. It would look orange, blue, whatever kind of a color of a wine is, but I see that I love it to be transparent. So now the question really is how you look at the things, how you can develop new perspective. The only way you develop new perspective when you meet with somebody whom you never met because he told you something that you never knew, or maybe you read something that you never read, and that's how you developed a new perspective, right? So you will change your perspective. I think this was one of the best advices that I have got from one of my manager in the company in 2018. He said that, Tauseef, start reading. He just said these two words, and so far I have read almost 25-30 books. You must be looking at my almirah. So reading and then writing. Writing is the slowest form of understanding. Like when you write things, you beat your mind, because your mind is actually conditioned to think very fast. And the classic example of this, I can make you test yourself. How? So human mind does not remain in present for more than 3 seconds. Either you're thinking about the past or you're thinking about the future. And this is the main problem. But when you write, what happens? You remain in present because you're thinking right now, what should I write? So anything that can make you stay in present for some time, meditation, breathing, writing, exercising, is always good, because our focus, our attention has been very, I would say, deteriorated by the bombards of all those news, media, social media, friends, families, calls, text, everything. So we forgot our own identity, who we are. So it's very important to stay in present, observe how we are breathing, how our body is behaving, what am I thinking at the moment. And writing is the best exercise to keep yourself in present and develop new perspectives. So again, I would like to do a recap. Before you learn how to speak well, learn how to listen well, learn how to observe well, learn how to read well, learn how to think well, learn how to write well.
Good points. I think I'd summarize. Reading, writing, and listening. These are the three key skills for communication. Of course,
Thinking.
The introspections, as you were saying, right?
Yeah.
That is also play a very significant role, because at the end of the day, he himself should be the owner for his life, for his way forward, right? So I think we should definitely take our responsibilities uh, in terms of our choices, in terms of our thoughts and actions, and that should be the way forward. You rightly said, Mr. Dasan. So let's look. Let's move towards the closure of our discussion. Probably, I would love to hear quickly your transformation journey, so that our audience will get more clarity.
Definitely.
How did you become such a good communicator and become a good mindset and coach?
Nipra, I am still a student.
Exactly. That is your greatness.
And I feel as if I will always be a student.
True.
I would never stop being a student.
True.
And this is a reality that you will always find people who are better than you, and you will always find people who are maybe less better than you. So stop comparing yourself. I never compare myself with anybody else. I did it for a longer period of time and I failed miserably. Now, I always compare my today with yesterday, and I would compare my tomorrow with today. So I will quickly give you a couple of experience that actually made me who I am today when it comes to effective communication.
Yeah.
So in fact, I made a video on this as well. So in 2012, I would say 12, 13 maybe, I was actually responsible. I was given a responsibility to manage a process end to end. So when it comes to managing a process, you got to hire people, you got to give them training, develop the training document, develop how your product would look like, whether your customer will buy or not. So holistically, I was responsible for everything, maybe 50 odd people. And at that time, I was very young. I would say teenager. So one fine day, and that was the time when one thing has always been good with me, that I have always been the hardest worker in the room. I was very hardworking, but only problem was that I could not communicate well, and I had a big mindset issue. And I also used to think that I know well, I speak well, so it's okay. And whenever I will put myself into different situation, I will feel very bad about it. Oh my God, I could have spoken this after this meeting. Once the meeting will over, I would say, I could have said that. Why did it not come to my mind? I could have said that, something like that. One fine day, I saw one of my boss's boss. So usually what happens, you usually interact with your manager, but you don't expect the manager of manager coming to you. And when it happens, you'll start to feel yourself, you start to talk yourself that why this happening? Why this guy is coming? He never interacted with me. But because of the fact that I was given that responsibility, I saw him coming towards me and I was talking to myself that why he's coming to me. He came to me, he said, Tauseef, can you take your laptop and come back with me? Follow me. I said, okay. He did not tell me what was going to happen, what is happening, why it is for, where he's going to take, where is, basically taking me towards. I simply picked up the laptop and followed him. He kept going into certain corridors, areas of company that I never been into. And then he finally reached to our meeting room, big meeting room, where there were 3 C-suite executives were sitting. Maybe one of them was marketing president, and this guy was the AVP of my area. He was my managers, and there were a couple of more others executives, top executives who were sitting there. So I think they wanted to ask me something regarding the process that I was handling, because everybody was taking keen interest. It was a new business for the company, and they wanted to know what's going on. So that marketing president fired 2 questions on me. And I was just looking at him. I had no answer. I knew what to speak, but I could not speak because I was overwhelmed completely. Overwhelmed. How can in the world I came to this big meeting room with so big people? It was a mindset issue, actually.
True.
At that time, I didn't have that power that it's okay. He's just another human being. Now I treat everybody as another human being. Even if you ask me to talk to Modi or Donald Trump or Joe Biden, I don't care, because I have developed that mindset. At that time, if I would see somebody who is superior in authority, I would always go on a backtrack and I would feel like, oh my God, what would happen? And I could not speak even a single word in that meeting. A result of this, my boss's boss looked at me into my eyes, and I know he was embarrassed. He said, Tauseef, okay, fine, you can take your laptop, go, we'll talk afterward. I said, okay. I took my laptop, and the moment when I was walking out of that meeting room, I was saying few words to me. I was talking to myself and I was saying that how can in the world it can happen that I knew what to say, but I was not prepared to say. I could not say it. It was very, very embarrassing moment for me. Because at that time I was a team leader. I was leading a team. Now, the worst part, even after that, I didn't realize that I need to work on my communication. Mindset issue.
Yeah.
In my contemporary company, I went through a personal transformation. So I was working in bits and pieces. I realized that I need to work. So I was just learning from people, going here and there. But at that time, I was not prepared to invest within myself, because I used to think that why the hell would I invest money on myself? I have done the college education, so why would I go to school?
Exactly.
But I never knew that real education starts when you graduate from the college, when you go to the corporate world.
True.
That's called life education.
Exactly.
But one training of 6 months, I've been into one of the organization, and the same organization 3-4 years back made me realize that you are the best project that you can ever work on. And then it completely opened my eyes, and I had this realization that, oh my God, I was doing this mistake from a long period of time. Why the hell I did not work on myself? Why the hell did I didn't, invest money on myself?
Exactly.
I was just investing my money into clothes. I was investing in my money into just look good.
Probably in real
But
estate.
yeah, no, not real estate. I would go ahead and buy clothes. I would go ahead and make, spend a lot of money in eating a lot of variety of dishes and foods. I will spend a lot of money in the party with my family. Of course, I was not that kind of a party guy, but the way I would spend my money would be meaningless.
Exactly.
Then when I had this realization, Tauseef, that if you want to grow in life, then you have to do well. Then I enrolled into a lot of international mentors. I learned, one of my mentors is from Australia. I learned, the art and science of communication from him. Then of course I happened to watch Praveen sir as well. I could relate to him very well. He has been the mentor. And I have learned from various other people from various other part of the world. And I am confidently saying this to you that the amount of success that I have got in last 2 years, I could not get it in last 10, 12 years right from the time when I started my career till 2018.
Yeah. Thank
So,
you.
so I think you improve when you hit the rock bottoms in your life.
Exactly. No,
So
but
adversities
yeah,
are important for you to grow. Yeah.
true. No, very good point. Adversity is important for us to grow.
I
And think
always
of
say this, that ease, some wise person said this, that ease is a greater threat to success than hardship.
true.
If you're going through hardship, just grow through hardship.
Yeah.
Because someday will come and you will look back and you will say, oh my God,
Yeah.
it was good that it happened to me.
Exactly. I agree. It happened to my life also, but it's
Because
not.
we always get
Mm,
perspective in the future. We don't
true.
get perspective in the presence.
Exactly. Yeah, but precisely if you tell us to our audience, right, how
Hmm.
communication helps in your professional growth. Of course, through your a lot of passionate engagement, you have made a great success both from your financial as well
Definitely.
as your personal development.
So
But
couple of
in your
points.
career wise, maybe two,
Yeah,
three
I would
points.
love to share that. I would love to
Yeah,
share that. So let's understand what are those 3, 4 points which helps you to grow in your career,
true.
right? So one, when you go to any meeting and you are invited to speak, you should speak well, you should speak confidently. So one, second, when it comes to conducting successful meeting, you should speak well. Third, when you're giving any review, let's say that you, for the entire month or for the entire quarter, you have to give a presentation to your boss or to maybe to your client, communication is required.
Yeah,
Now again, when you get a promotion, you don't get a promotion like that. You're interviewed, right? Unless you have a good communication, maybe you'll not be able to differentiate yourself from others. Somebody who has a better communication will always have an upper hand on you. Let's say that you want to change the company, you will have to give the interview.
yeah,
Or let's say that you want to start your own company, you will have to talk about your product confidently. You will have to sell it, you will have to market it. Or let's say you're not doing a job, you're not having a company, yes, you're a son of a millionaire. So you want to have good relationship with your girlfriend. Communication. Let's say you have a screwed up relationship with your partner. Maybe it is because of you don't have a good communication skill. So
yeah,
importance of communication is, I would say, don't limit to learn the communication skill. Just you want to learn the communication skill just because you want to grow in corporate. Of course, it will help you, but learn communication skill to become a better human being,
yeah.
to become
Completely.
somebody whom people would love to listen.
Exactly. I completely agree. Because if you
So
have, yeah, so go ahead. No, go
yeah,
ahead.
that's what I would say. So these are the few important points and the reason why you should learn to communicate effectively.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think you have given a very broader perspective. If you an individual develop a mindset where it says that let me learn the communications to become a better human, right? I think then this professional life become a subset of that whole entire human life, isn't it? So it can be
True.
professional life, it can be political life, it can be social life, and anywhere. But communication play
It
very
can be
significant
anything.
roles, as I
It can be
completely
anything.
agree with you.
A lot
Yeah,
of
but then
problems are still residing just because of a lack of communication.
exactly. Yeah, I completely agree with you because either in our, if you remember our hostel life, you remember our student life, you remember our engagement with different people in the society. If we start analyzing, then you'll find that what there is somewhere in the communication is the problem, right? Anyway, it was extremely valuable discussion, Mr. Tauseef. I'm very glad that you have given me the time and you have shared your such a valuable insight uh, as far as communications and mindset is concerned. I highly appreciate your uh, just missions of creating such a great impact for our younger generations. I best wishes from my bottom of my heart, and uh, I wish that you remain engaged this kind of noble work and create a positive impact in the society. Thank you.
Thank you so much for inviting Nipra. And I think it is, I would love to, to go on such platform and share my experience because I love to make an impact. So thanks a lot for being humble and inviting me and giving this time out of your diary as well, because time is equally important for everybody.
Exactly.
And, thank you so much. I really appreciate. And I think equally you are doing a good job because you're recording this session with people, and tomorrow you would launch the session on the social media platform. I think the only intent behind is that you want to bring such people like me, or maybe better than me, or maybe everyone, so that they can come and share their experience and let your audience learn from all of us. So I think it's a very noble intent. So congratulations to you as well, and best of luck.
Thank you. I think thank you for your good work. We'll keep on engaging in near future.
Thank you.
This kind of
Bye,
collaboration.
everyone. Yeah.
Bye. Thank you.